Gifted Media, subscribe to your YouTube channel, and like in Facebook page, na fi wa share na for so e de nya bi. Abusia Mr. Ernest Yakumi, menim Samenka se MP, Samenka ni sensu. Ni nyina no e beka se MP for Akwatia se court say. Yen hwehwe no na ba bi wo bia no yen kyere no ana yemmoa no na yemfa ne mere no na afi won fa ne sentence emfa emma no. Na abusia asemi emu irempa na yenkwa yanim. Abusia se obeka ya during the 2024 elections and some bebre no ano in somewhere direct ekobam as hwan and the beye MP we se me na me wini we se me na me say eno na abusia ense bebre no ekopie mu e wo court ahodo ana eye Akwatia enso eka ho bi na eno na eye court ebo modern ese wanya eye krata bi agese eye the opposite side no and the opposition no enso so kase Sabrain Ernest Yakumi enye wono na ewene ye nti saade a wonfa injunction ansa tabo ento en ura Ernest Yakumi so that was 31st of December no edomu na Sabrain sa injunction no ekokoto eye honorable Ernest Yakumi eso a Sabrain no court share ne se nafo du 10 days no ma on holding ho as member of parliament na mum no Sabrain injunction no for 10 days na edomu na honorable Ernest Yakumi na se Mr. Yakumi Ernest Yakumi wa more modern any sanse say we so Sabrain na no ayi ni ka Sabrain na kopie ba bia e no akopie enti after 10 days ni na nka Sabrain no nsam no ebetumi akoso anase se enkoso no edomu na owura Ernest Yakumi on the 7th December no and 6th December na jono a na court anase parliament kwa akoso MPs ewo parliament ho no enumu na owura Ernest Yakumi enso so edi akire eko ebi na enumu ho na okopie mu no na speaker of parliament that time clerk of parliament because that time na speaker yenya enyi speaker na mmom the clerk of parliament a obedi animu ema Sabrain na wo mo eba behwe ho nsensem na afi registration ene roko na wo mo bebo wo saase ana wo bobobo roko no wo bodin a na afi wa kire ba bia ofi eba ene ho nsem a ewo ho adin no ekokoso no na clerk of parliament eba betire mu ana chese wo cases bi ni mo ho a wo mo dia beto nanimu a chese eho no Akwatia MP ni ho nsem eka ho a chese nya de a on betumi anya akwanya na wo mo aso en in saa dan no ana se wo no ne de ne dwuma di a wo mo bedie ne de no ebetumi akoso na eho na court no ana ho na MP no clerk no ma na kwanya kan se wo no ne de krata ne nsa kan nie enti dwuma di a wo ba bedie no wo ka na wo kokobon so de ma owura Ernest Yakumi na se ode ma no se wonhwe ne yie na sansem na asem bia ba wo no de enye wo no na obekanti se Sabrain no wogitum se saade no wo hode a na kire se wo mo entoa so na onumu na Ernest Yakumi oye din se na ote akire ho menkai se uhu no de a na ote akire ho na je se waye lem nti enemu na owura Afenyo Markins that time oye minority leader original na o say okay Mr. Speaker na say clerk se ba bia duru no owura Ernest Yakumi yene no na esom nti o se obetenam no whatever comes na say ne obefi mu ababia no obefesi emra no na okay na clerk say o meni ni how mesu meni problem meni how bia na mmom no ne ebeba no onko a na obesoa enemu na owura Ernest Yakumi egitum a chese Sabrain no friend ho say oye MP but don't forget say na court nso so e the injunction 10 days bi ato no so a Sabrain na wontumi nkole ne ho say oye MP but then we bu court mra so ba betena ho e ma Sabrain no wo mogije ne so ma ne tena ho ma ne ka say woni de yade a obekoso na fi watena ho na as MP na yaso en in na ensem no eguso a ekoso no e na honorable Afenyo Markins sorry be kan sa bi pe na aja obi be ne den clerk of parliament so eto aso edi ne dwuma na eno akiri no na woko file ana say NDC woko file against him say in fact why contempt of court ni nyina ni say we bu court mraso wankasa wa seda pa say we bu court mraso na court so na say wamfa bu ama court nti be ya court nhwe na woni na asem na womfa no nkoto afiase na edemu na court so asem mu na wo mu edi a ene dadua yi na ehye wo momra na nka wo mu emra mebu asa aten no na emfa emfiri ho ana say court emebu ana asem no na eno na lawyer Gary Makwa on the director of legal affairs edema the New Patriotic Party wodi na chi ana say wo koye ya owura Ernest Yakumi wa ma bia na chese ni nyina ni say wo sorry ya na nka lawyer Gary Makwa lawyer no and as a judge no e ka kire ne se ebe ya wontena se na wonim no san se bra asem no sha ase nyina wo mo eye ni bia no ono no kra no won file eye appearance aha won file appearance obebo modern afi obepie mu e wo court wonti no lawyer guard ni makode na asem no ya de aye wo mo ebo tugu ya enye asem keto asabre no wo kire mu na je se owura Ernest Yakumi wakare ne ho se MP e ate se ebu court emra so na je se enya asem keto ate se court no de se wo bebu ne mra so emfa ho ene se wonim de se bia wote ase ana wonte ase ana se woye den ana se woye den aha na chese eyade a woye den a wabu mmara so yese mmara no na edi no enti lawyer Gary ni mako eyade a wa ama na kwanya ama no anka bibia amfa ho ase obe defend you se won defend you ni nyina no bibia amfi mu amfa ma enti eno na court no mum etena sia no se owura Ernest Yakumi in fact Ghana ye de mmara na chekere mmara na mmom no ye de mmara na chekere oman no na mmom no wa anya ade sanse wa ba court ama court atimi aka kire wo se ade na wa ye no enye nti bo modern na wo tenase na ye ni asem ni nwie ye di wie na se ye odi a ye de bema wo se enye odi anso so a na je se ye ade a okọ kra eno no na enemu na court no antimi a recognize eye owura Gary ni makunti no wo to aso edi asem ne wo ka ye ni wo kire mu na che se bibibia ewo ho anyina kire se eye owura Ernest Yakumi wo se dabo ni tirim eto no bo ase se sa abre no obebu court mmara so na wabu no mmara so obi a injunction da wo so de na se ni se nka wokoso na wotena ho na afi wo hwe se sa abre no sa ne ma na bekoso ama wo watimi akwa pagya wo ho anase wakoka se woye MP inti sa abre wadi MP from January 7th na ababisi enne se woda so edi MP na enum na court no se sa abre ne se sa nso na abade a ene na che se wono no woni ho Ernest Yakumi na nkasa woni wonti opese ohunu ewura Ernest Yakumi na nkasa na ohunu ni se nanim nie 1-on-1 na se oni ho a enya de obetim de na tembu de amano nti ese owo ho na ni nyina mu nso no na oni wonti court na hye say no what the air warrant aka kire abambo adwumayefo no posifo ene national security ene wona ewo ho nyina say wo mmode na wonfa sa warrant ne hwehwe owura Ernest Yakumi ba bibia da wo hye biada wonche ne mara na afi o mefesi mara no na je say ene ho asem no na je say sia no court no kire mu a na je owura Ernest Yakumi ade a ne ye ka ne say contempt no no ebi a che ne pa yi wabo je say wa mfabuo kura ama high court na je high court asem na kan nti contempt so nya chewa abusua na enya asem ketwa ne obefom no ya seda anya ho ebre eda ho anya ho asotwe wo ho se wamfa bu ama court na se court no enya chew se ne odo obefa kwan bi so a na ye se enya asem ketwa kra na odo eba befom no nti abusua se ye kapade a na owura Ernest Yakumi sa bre no se wono a wo hold no se Akwatia MP wa bra na court injunction eda no so no se si a me no kasa die na ye se court no e kire mu a na ye se sa bre no warrant pa e na wonfa enkonkoche no na wonfa no emra na court no emra medina asem nienti a wambu court mra so na wamfa court asem anya asem no eno ho asem eno ho asotwe e wo ho no ma ene sa abre no wo mo eba bedi sa asem ni nyina na afei eno nso so akwakoba se niema enshada ene de yenti owura Ernest Yakumi de sa abre ni yenim na eno nsem no so kura eba no ensem bi pie se lete bi ana krata bi efri the minority caucus eba se owura Ernest Yakumi because of business parliamentary business ne niema wo yenti no eno nti na mana ye busy a wontumi pie mu wo court ho na ye kire mu anaje se sansem no court no ebotugu isanse obi a wo no from fitiase na waka kire se wonye MP ngodu ho se wo ye MP na sa abre ye de na brebe na wo ye MP because court no recognize wo se wo ye MP nti parliamentary business ben na sa abre no owura Ernest Yakumi wo ye nti a eno nti wontumi ama me pie mu nti sa court krata na free minority side ne buy ne de in fact according to a lawyer no actually mu na che say court no amfa anya asem obo etugu kra che say eno dia kra the court no antumi anso amfa anya adwuma.
You would recall that sometime last week we moved an application to have Ernest Yakumi convicted and sentenced to prison for his willful disobedience to the orders of a court of competent jurisdiction, that's the High Court of the Republic of Ghana. You would also recall that this case has been on since the 31st of December 2024. And the case essentially has been that Ernest Yakumi, that's our case, that he was not validly elected. We followed up with a motion for interim injunction, which motion was granted for 10 days. Now, on the day that the NS Yaokumi was served with the said order, he filed an application to have it set aside. Now, the court heard the application and on the 6th of January 2025 dismissed it, and thereby insisting that he should not hold himself out as the Member of Parliament elect. He willfully disobeyed the orders of the court and went straight to Parliament and availed himself for him to be sworn in as Member of Parliament. And he has since then been calling himself out as the Member of Parliament. We are a country of rules. We decided then to petition the court, pursuant and consistent with the rules of court, which is under 50 of CI 47, that he had willfully disobeyed the orders of the court. Now the case was moved, the motion was moved, and it was slated for today for ruling. Today the court, you would notice, you were all in court, that before the court gave his ruling, lawyer Gary Nimakun was on his feet and wanted to be heard, that he had filed some processes and thereby sought to stay the hands of the court from delivering his ruling. The court said, I don't recognize you. And I must say this, it is a bit shocking. And we lawyers don't usually critique one another or each other. I mean, because we have been trained not to. But I'm a bit surprised that Mr. Gary Nimakun would rise in open court in a contempt case, which we all know, we've all been trained and are aware that contempt proceedings are different from, because the standard of proof is even different. It has a different case number. And so what an Escumi should have done was to either file an appearance or bring his lawyer to file an appearance. An appearance is done, it's a document that you need to file. Or because it's a quasi-criminal matter, like anybody who has gone to steal a sheep or a fowl, you have to be present in court to purge yourself of the contempt. You don't send a lawyer who has filed nothing. And you would recall that since the inception of this case, Mr. Gary Nimakun has always been coming to court, and he hasn't even filed an appearance consistent with Order 9 of CI 47. And this is serious, but we await him, and we will meet him at the Supreme Court. That's a different matter. But you see, today the court said that I don't recognize you because you are not the contemnor, you are not an Yaokumi, and you haven't filed anything in this case. So who are you in the matter? So the court said, I won't even record you. And so that is why that arbitration happened, and then Gary had to be in his seat for the court to proceed. Now the ruling happened, and the court essentially is saying that indeed all the ingredients in all the authorities he listed proved that he willfully disobeyed the orders of the court, and that irrespective of your opinion about an order of a court, it doesn't give you the license to disobey it until it is set aside. No court, as we speak, has set aside or did set aside the interim injunction. And so he was completely out of order to disobey the orders of the court. And so the court said that when that happens, the law is clear. You need to be convicted and sentenced. And so the court today convicted him. That is, the procedure is that, you see, the court cannot give his sentence in a vacuum. So the court at this point has found him guilty. That's the meaning of the conviction. When the court says that you are convicted, it means that you are guilty of the offense. Now, because he was not in court, the court now says that he now issues a bench warrant like any other criminal. And the police, the national security, should go after him wherever he is and be arrested and brought to him in court for him to be sentenced appropriately. You would also recall that the comment about it. Initially, I wasn't served, neither my client, but the court sought to give the indication, and he said it in open court, the learned trial judge said that it was a letter emanating from the minority caucus of parliament. And you would see the distinction. It's not from the Parliament of the Republic, because the Parliament is being run by the clerk to Parliament and the Speaker. The letter didn't emanate from the clerk. It came from their own caucus and said that he could not come to Parliament because he was undertaking some serious business. Now the court said he would not even entertain that letter, because if he did, it would amount to an inconsistency on his own part, because he has ruled that the gentleman cannot hold himself as a member of Parliament. So if he is in Parliament now and the letter emanates from the Parliament and says that he is busy conducting parliamentary duty, the court will not even look at it, because the court doesn't even recognize that he is indeed an legitimate elected member of Parliament. And so essentially that's what has happened. So as we speak, By close of today, the security forces are going to be alerted that they should arrest Ernest Yaokumi and bring him to the court, the High Court of the Republic of Ghana, for his sentence. It is then that the court would pronounce a sentence on him. But at the moment, he is a convict. The court has duly convicted him, and the conviction essentially means that he has been found guilty of contempt of the High Court of the Republic of Ghana. So that is what.
Abusia SSC no ye yama ye court ho nsensem no ye judicial service na me say and animu aba to form sanse senka we obi because of politics na we enya politics na say oye lane man bia na lane person bia na ne ba bia abusia nka ye misa ye ho say court ama order say odi injunction ato no so nka in fact nka lane person na say lane man nka obekoso aye ne wo ye no na da bi ba ma me mo ade bi on the 6th night no ade be 7th January na ama sabre wo maye swearing in and ajono ya ye be speaker ama speaker be swear won in no Owura Ernest Yaokumi was on the floor of parliament ya na say na wo tie akiri ho na waka nanim asi so abusia ya hwe ade bi ha Owura Ernest Yaokumi utimu say within him no say obenya nka wo mpe by politics ya ka say politics is about numbers in say be ya numbers be control parliament intinu this is a real there is a fact and you cannot deny say Owura afenyo markets and the original be can say Owura Ernest Yaokumi say he's ready to face any consequences ya e be free saade na wo ye ni mu aba na abusa ya hwe ade o ye nyina nim say saade wo ye na wo ye no wo ye say wo bu court onimtia na emara no so da ho pefe now udi politics ati amanyo semachi ema nkrofo yo yodium kwa okoye no wonim se oman so emra wa ha na oba ye minority fo awomo eka se o se waje pene ubegina mu na fe ne beba bia wafa no now ye nhwe krata wo mode coin according to lawyer ni say yabo atu agu enti say why ne betumi age lawyer so legal affairs director no e de ma the new patriotic party ono so kwakasa no ye see ono no court no enim no the court does not recognize him enti eno no say Owura Ernest Yaokumi, you are going to face the law on your own. And as they say, no baby, I dream so no, obi anu obeti me charge o sanse abamra no na aso mu. Enti nema bi wona ye ya, yenhwe baby ye fiba. Na nkasa yenhwe ye ho. Ene the way sit here na yemfa buo ema ye court no. Sanse eno ene mra e wo ho. Eno so ne ade a abo menu mienu nyina ho ban. Enti ade a a obi ntumi mfa sika nkotwa obi. Enti obi ntumi nchi obi mu obi kwa. Sanse emra no nti no oni se mra wo man mu mra no e ban de yen. Wo ho ade ba kwa ye di eje dia majo samsa now yenhwe Owura Afenyo Markets ofri ne constituency okwa wokoda anyumero obedidi one na yire ne ma ekwa akoda two minority for ni nyina no ya chief repo wanyo omu nyina ekwa akodi omu ne omu ayire ne omu man but now you have been declared wanted as abde ne yehia wa ye de warrant ene nam a eno omu de ba bechew you are going to face the law on your own enti asotwe bia wo hu bia no Owura Ernest Yaokumi now ya yodio ena mamanyo semunti you are going to face the law on your own adenti ana wamu aka no wamu ni wachi ese lawyer ndi wani ato no so a okoye no ade ba ko ni say ya amana kura am making the case kura because now he's not recognized by the court. So what next? Mama yemfa buo na yemhwe hu say amanyosem a ye yi no ebedrum mebi no ode hawo ene amane ene beba no we ne ebetimi abre wo man no nti abusua subscribe to your YouTube channel like and Facebook page ndi dia ni di akire ne ebesi bia ne beba